So this is a follow-up to the Pac Man Bangle that I made a while ago. When I first made it, everything was functioning fine, but as I was wearing it, it was kind of having issues, and eventually this side by Pac Man started fading, blinking, wasn't very bright, and I decided to take a little break from messing with the conductive thread because it was starting to frustrate me, and focus on my holiday sales. So last night, January 4th, I got back into it and decided to figure out what the problem was. And I'm not sure if it's a problem with a connection with the snaps, being the on-off switch, or if I have some thread that got torn up through the beading process with the beading needle. When I bead, I'm often pulling a needle through very tiny spaces, and this is what will end up happening to the thread. Now on this piece, it's a little different from the previous two that I made because I used Magic's new thread that they have. It's coming in with their eTextile kits, and they sent me some, so I decided to try it on this one. It's really nice because I pack my beads so tight, and this is a lot smaller than the other 4-ply thread that I was using before. But as I showed you before, it frays really easily at the end with the beading needle. So you end up having to leave a long tail that you can allow to fray as you're beading, so that the main parts that are within your piece stay nice and tight and wound like this. So when I was playing with the connections last night, the lights aren't a problem. I was getting them to light up really bright when they were all touching the positive and negative. And I tried some re-threading in here. You can see a little bit of silver, and that wasn't doing it. So I decided to just thread it straight through. So when the bracelet's unsnapped now, these two lights are lighting up because they're both hitting the battery, the positive and negative. These two still work great when you snap it shut. So one of the snaps is working, one of the snaps isn't. That could be the problem. I'm pinching it because the battery holder on this piece also needs to be more packed out. Excuse me. So also, it's a little loose in there. You can shake the battery out. Well, you can hear it shaking. But I decided that I put one piece of metal, glued it in with wire glue on one side, and I'm going to glue this piece in on the other side. And then it's going to be nice and tight, and we're not going to have a connection problem, and you can see the lights are staying on now. So that's going to be my final problem solving to this piece, so I can get it off of my workbench and onto some new things. One of the things I found, particularly with this battery pouch that I beaded, is that it's a lot looser than the first one that I made, and I used the same beads as are on the Pac Man bracelet, and they're a size 11-0 bead, which is a pretty standard size seed bead. But the first battery holder I made was with 15-0 seed beads, which is 2 sizes smaller than your standard 11-0 size seed bead. And I think that those don't have as much of a gap in between here and can hold that battery tighter. So if I go back to doing a beaded battery holder, I'm going to stick to the 15-0 beads because they're a lot easier to control how tight they're hitting that battery, whereas this one I've been having to pack it out with wire glue and extra metal. Also, so in the end, this piece didn't totally do what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to snap on and off and turn the light on and off so you didn't have to mess with the battery a whole lot. But I'm happy that it's glowing and it's working, so if I wear it out or somebody else wears it out, it'll be fine. The only downfall is with that battery packed in there so tight. Either you can use your nail to pull it out on the back side with there's a little lip on the negative side of the battery, or just take a little pair of pliers to pull it in and out. So that's the final Pac-Man Bangle, and we'll see if I get to doing another one soon. So that's it. Happy New Year!